Hello, my dear students. I hope you all have been doing well. Today we are going to discuss about ketone 2 and this is my lecture number 20. In this lecture we are going to discuss about journal method of preparation of ketone, identification, test of ketone and pharmaceutical applications of ketones. So, starting from the synthesis or preparation of ketones, in this in this heading, we will see how we can synthesize ketones in our laboratory. So, the first method of synthesis of ketone is the aerobic oxidation of hydrocarbon. So, you have to understand first what are hydrocarbon and what is oxidation and what is this aerobic oxidation. I have previously discussed with you in my previous lectures that hydrocarbons are the molecule or the organic molecule that are having carbon and hydrogen atoms. So you have this idea in your mind that hydrocarbon are the molecule that are having hydrogen and carbon atom. And what is this oxidation? Oxidation means the addition of oxygen in an organic molecule. So, and what is aerobic oxidation or aerobic oxidation means addition of oxygen in the presence of oxidation, or you can say simply that aerobic oxidation is the process in that a molecule oxidize in the presence of air. Oxidize means when a molecule accept oxygen or add oxygen in itself. So we say this process as oxidation. And from where this oxygen comes from the air. So aerobic oxidation is the process in that a molecule of oxygen add up in an organic molecule. So the first method of synthesis of ketone is we can synthesize ketone by adding the oxygen in an organic molecule or hydrocarbon. So as we can see here, this is an hydrocarbon that is having a hydrogen atom and a carbon atom, and if we will add up oxygen in this hydrocarbon we will get ketone. I discuss with you in ketone part 1 in my lecture number 19 that what are ketone are the organic molecule that are having a carbonyl group attached to two other hydrocarbon radicals. So we can see here that when if we add the oxygen in a hydrocarbon, then we get a product that is a organic molecule having carbonyl group, that is a ketone, and water also produce in this reaction. Now, the second method of preparation of ketone are germinal halide hydrolysis. We can synthesize ketone by hydrolysis of germinal halides. So we have to understand what are germinal halides. Germinal halides are the molecule that are having two similar halide atom attached to another atom. As in this case we can see here, this is a halide atom. What are halide? Halide are iodide, bromide, chloride. So if we have two halide atom attached to another atom, so we say this molecule as a germinal halide. So you can see here we are having two chloride atom that is attached to the other atom. So this is a molecule of germinal halide. So how we can prepare ketone from the germinal halide? When we hydrolyze this germinal halide, or we react this germinal halide with another hydroxide ion. In this case, in this reaction, the hydroxide ion is potassium hydroxide. So when we react this germinal halide with potassium hydroxide, we get ketone. And additionally, potassium chloride will be the another product of this reaction. So the third method of preparation of ketones are Friedel Crafts acylation. What is the acylation? Acylation is a reaction in that we add up a acyl group in a reactant. So this is the acyl group. Here I make a picture for you. So when we add up this acyl group in this in an aromatic compound, we get aromatic ketone. So this reaction is called as Friedel-Crafts acylation, in which what is Friedel-Crafts acylation? Friedel-Crafts acylation is a reaction in that we add a acyl group in an aromatic compound and we get an aromatic ketone. So this is an aromatic compound. You know what are aromatic compound? I previously discussed with you. Aromatic compound are all those compounds that are having a cyclic ring structure with the conjugated double bond system. So here we can see this is a an aromatic compound. Aromatic compound. What are aromatic compound? Aromatic compound are all those organic compound that are having cyclic ring structure with conjugated double bonds. So we are and these conjugated double bonds in the aromatic compound can be represent as this is ring structure or as the double bond. Simple line, alternate line. So here we can see that it is an aromatic compound, and if when we add an acyl group in this aromatic compound, we get aromatic ketone. Why we are saying this aromatic ketone? Because it is having an aromatic ring as a hydrocarbon radical. We and what are ketone? Ketone are the compound that is having carbonyl group. So we are seeing here that this is a carbonyl group. This is O double bond. Here is C carbon. And what are carbonyl group? The carbonyl group are those group that are having a carbon atom attached with an oxygen atom with two with double bonds. So the other method of preparation of ketones are cyclization. So what is this Ruzuka cyclization? This is a method to prepare a cyclic ketone from dicarboxylic acid. You just have to understand this Ruzuka cyclization is a process by which we can prepare cyclic ketones from dicarboxylic acid. So you can see here this is the dicarboxylic acid. Why it is a dicarboxylic acid? Because it is having two carboxylic acid group. You can see here C double bond C OOH is a carboxylic acid group. So we are having here in this compound two carboxylic acid group. One is this and one is this. So how this dicarboxylic acid produce ketones? We can see here when this dicarboxylic acid in the react in the presence of uh, thior thiorium oxide. So this dicarboxylic acid in the presence of a catalyst that is thiorium oxide, what it will do, it will remove from this dicarboxylic acid a molecule of water and a molecule of carbon dioxide. So these two molecules will remove from this um, dicarboxylic acid in the presence of this catalyst that is thiorium oxide, and then what will we will be get in the end as a product of this reaction, we will get a cyclic ketones. So one of my students asked me in Zoom meeting that um, uh, we were discussing a reaction that in that we are not having any two reactant for the reaction and getting a product, and there was a just um, catalyst. So she asked me that what the catalyst is doing here, either it is reacting or what is doing. So I explain you here that this catalyst, although there is not any reactant any other reactant. Here is only one reactant, that this is dicarboxylic acid. So here is not any other reactant, and people have a concept in their mind. Student have concept in their mind. If two reactant will react together, that then they form a product. But it is not means necessary for all the time. It may be possible only a one reactant means proceed whole reactions. So how this one reactant will proceed the whole reaction? It is you can see here the only one reactant in the presence of a catalyst. What it will do? It will remove from itself some other molecule. Like here in the case, here is only one reactant, and here is a catalyst. What catalyst is doing here? Catalyst is assisting this reactant to remove from it uh, uh, water molecule and a carbon dioxide molecule, and it is producing a cyclic ketone. So catalysts are the enzyme that help in assisting reactions. So what catalyst is doing here? The catalyst is assisting dicarboxylic acid to remove water and carbon dioxide from itself. So finally we are getting the ketone, that is cyclic ketone. So the next reaction is the Fukuyama coupling, and in this reaction we form ketones from a thioester and organic compound. This is a thioester. When this thioester react with an organic compound, so organozinc compound, so we will get a ketone. We are seeing here this is a ketone. Why this is ketone? Because it is having a carbonyl group that is attached to two other hydrocarbon, and this reaction require a catalyst, that is palladium, PD. So you have to keep in your mind that in Fukuyama coupling, two reactant react with each other, and what are these two reactant? One is the thioester and other is organozinc compound. With these two reactant react together in the presence of a catalyst, that is palladium. So we will get a ketone. And as my in my previous reaction, I show you here that this in this reaction only one reactant is forming ketone in the presence of a catalyst, and this in this reaction the two reactant forming ketone in the presence of catalyst means in the previous reaction catalyst is assisting only one reactant to produce ketone by removing some atom from it. Catalyst assisted to remove some molecule from the reactant and the prepare product in my previous reaction, this one reaction. But in this reaction, Fukuyama reaction, what happened? The catalyst assist two molecule react together, and then uh, um, form ketone. So I hope a student can clear the idea in their mind that they asked me in Zoom meeting, that how the catalyst is reacting with the reactant. They were thinking that catalyst is reacting, although catalyst not react with the reactant, they assist reactant to make a product. So I hope student you have clear in your mind how catalyst assessed reaction that is based on one reactant, and how catalyst assessed reactant to make a product in a reaction that is based on two reactant. Now we are going towards the identification test of ketone. So ketone can be identified in the laboratory by infrared spectra, and by infrared spectroscopy. So what is this infrared spectroscopy? I have previously discussed you in my previous lecture that spectroscopy is a technique that is in by that by using that we can identify the functional group. And how we identify the functional group, this is the technique. We have to perform the experiment for infrared spectrophotometer. Means we have to use a sample that is containing the ketone or any other organic molecule. So in this case, for the ketone, if we are performing the spectroscopic test, what we have to do, we have to have sample that is containing means we have to have a sample, but unknown sample. We don't know what the organic molecule it is having. Either it is having ketone or amine or any other molecule, but we are having a suspected ketone sample, and we think that this sample is having uh, ketone. So how we identified ketone? By this spectroscopy, we will take this sample, and there is whole procedure. We have to run our experiment, and then after running the experiment, we will get a spectra that is in the form of this graph. This is the actually spectra. So how we identify that either this ketone is present in the sample or not? If the we perform the experiment in infrared spectroscopy, and then we took this spectra, develop this spectra, and in this spectra, what will happen if we will be having a peak at 2991 wavelength. So this wavelength, the peak that will originate at this wavelength will be showing that this here is a ketone that is present in the sample. Means this is in any type of spectroscopy, uh, the presence of a compound in a sample shows by a peak. If a sample is, and each peak correspond to the um, specific molecule or specific functional group that is present in the molecule. For example, you can see here are different peaks, and each peak correspond to the same length, different wavelength. So what will happen, we have already know that at what peak, at what wavelength we will be having amine group, at what wavelength we will be having ketone group, and at what wavelength we will be having other organic group. So in case of, because these all peaks and their corresponding wavelength are previously defined, but when we run this sample in the spectroscopy, and we will be developing the spectra, then we have to check either we are having the peak at 29991. If it is we are having a peak in 29991, it means that this peak is correspond to the ketone. So we are having ketone in our sample. Now, the other method of identification of um ketone in the laboratory is the NMR spectroscopy. We have already discussed about what is this NMR spectroscopy. Then this is NMR spectroscopy means nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. In this spectroscopy, we identify a molecule on the basis of the rotation of the atom in that molecule around the nucleus. So what we'll do in our laboratory for this test, we make a sample, and then we perform experiment in the NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance spectrophotometer. And then what will happen, we will develop this spectra, and how from this spectra we can identify it if the mixture is having ketone by the wavelength of the spectra. So in the spectra, we can see that this ketone can give us a peak at between 200 between 120 to 200 nanometer. So other qualitative tests that are used in the laboratory for the identification of a ketone are Brady's test. In this test, we react ketone with uh, 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine. It is a reagent. When this reagent react with the ketone, if it is present in the sample, what we do for uh, this Brady's test, we will be having a sample in a test tube, and then we will add the 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine reagent in this test tube. If the test tube is containing the sample that is having the ketone, what will happen? This ketone will react with this reagent, and then this reagent form a product that will be the derivative of this initial reagent. For uh, what is a derivative? Derivative is a modified form of a parent molecule. So we can see here it is a parent molecule, that is a reagent, that is 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine. And when this 2,4-nitrophenyl hydrazine react with the ketone, so it will form another derivative of this molecule, that will be dinitrophenyl hydrazine hydrazone. uh, it is a it is a ketone. As the name indicated, it is hydrazone. From hydrazine, it will be hydrazone, and we can see here that in this reaction, this ketone is adding up here. So this is the derivative of the ketone, and it will give a identification color that will be the brown in nature. So if in the Brady's test, during the Brady's test, if we are reacting a ketone with a derivative with a reagent that is 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazone, and we are having the color in the brown color, in the pale yellow color in the test tube, so it will be identification then ketone has reacted with this reagent 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazone and have converted into a product that is a derivative of our initial reagent, and it will show its presence or the presence of a ketone by the color change. So the other test is iodoform test, and in this test, what we will do, we will be having a reaction mixture in the test tube that is containing methyl ketone, and when this methyl ketone will when we add the iodide in this methyl ketone in the sample that is having methyl ketone, then what will happen, this iodide will react with this um, ketone and giving us an other um, characteristic compound from the that will be different from the previous one. It will be pale yellow color, and we identify the presence of the methyl ketone by this iodoform test. And for the iodoform test, we will be particularly use methyl ketone and iodine, because only methyl ketone will react with iodine and give us the positive result for this test. And the ketone may be distinguished from aldehyde by Tollens reagent, and the Fehling reagent. Means for to differentiate ketone from the aldehyde, the test we perform in the laboratory. For this test we use toluene reagent and Fehling reagent. So if we are having a sample um, uh, in a test tube and we do not know that either it is ketone or it is a aldehyde, and so what we do for differentiate between aldehyde or ketone in the sample, we will either we add in the test tube that is having a sample, or it may be unknown, it is unknown sample, and we don't know that either it is having ketone or aldehyde. So what we will add Tollens reagent, either Tollens reagent or the Fehling solution. So what will happen, there will be no color change. If it will be having ketone, so it in the sample, so sample will not change its color. So ketone will not change its color with the if we will add in the ketone the Tollens reagent or Fehling reagent. So ketones also give positive result when treated with meta dinitrobenzene in the presence of dilute sodium hydroxide to give violet coloration. So what does mean by positive or negative result? Negative result means no color change and positive result means color change. If we add a reagent in the sample, then sample changes color, so we will say this the results are positive, means the test tube is containing the sample that is having the ketone. So we can also identified ketone in this mixture of a sample that is present in a test tube or any other equipment by using meta dinitrobenzene. So in the presence of disodium sodium hydroxide, means we will be having a test tube, and in this test tube we don't know what is the mixture in it, either it will be ketone or any other compound. So what we will do for the identification, if the sample is present in the test tube is having the ketone, what we will do, we will add a reagent that is metadinitrobenzene, and we also add with this metadinitrobenzene dilute sodium hydroxide. So what will happen if this test tube is having the ketone, what will be happen, it will change color from pale yellow to violet, and then we will say that our results are positive, means the sample is containing ketone. So in the laboratory for the identification test, that is organic identification test, what we use the reagent, we again summarize, we can use 2,4-dinitro phenyl phenylhydrazine. It is reagent, it is used for the identification of ketone in the lab, uh, for the qualitative identification of ketone in the lab. And then when we use 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine uh, for the identification of ketone, we say this test as a Brady's test. You have to understand, means remember this. And the other test is the iodoform test for the identification of ketone. And in the iodoform test, we detect methyl ketone. In the laboratory we detect methyl ketone, and what will be the reagent for this iodoform test? The reagent will be iodine and sodium hydroxide. These two reagent, means particular reagent will be, main reagent will be iodine, but we also use this reaction of particular reagent will be the iodine, means the reagent with which ketone react will be iodine, but this reaction takes place in the presence of NaOH, sodium hydroxide. So how we can distinguish ketone from aldehyde? By using Tollens reagent and Fehling reagent, Fehling solution or reagent. Or we can also use metadinitrobenzene. This is also another reagent, for the identification of ketone in laboratory, and metadinitrobenzene react with ketone in the presence of dilute sodium hydroxide. So these are the reagents that we can use in the laboratory for the identification of ketone. And now we will go for the application of ketones. Ketone compound have important physiological properties. They are found in several sugar and in compound for medicinal use, including natural and synthetic steroid hormones. Molecules of the anti-inflammatory agent cortisone contain three ketone group. So ketones are applied in in medicine, and you have to keep in your mind that several sugars are ketone in nature. For example, D fructose and L fructose. You know, sugar are having means um, maybe sugar may be an aldehyde in nature. For example, glucose is an aldehydic sugar, and fructose is a ketonic sugar. So here we can see that this is the structure of the D fructose, and it is having ketonic group, a carbon atom attached with oxygen with double bond. So this fructose are the part of many means ingredients. For example, we can use this fructose in our food, in juices, and in the bakery products. And ketones also have and means the anti-inflammatory properties. And the cortisone is a hormone that is having ketone group. What is a hormone? Hormone is a protein, or it means have their biological action in the other part of the body. It travel either means hormone travel through the blood, and it reaches to the target action, and it perform their biological action. So cortisone is a hormone, and it is having three ketone group, uh, and then it is having anti-inflammatory properties. So ketones can also produce a massive at massive scale in industry. For example, as a solvent, polymers, precursor. Uh, Ketone can be used in industry as solvent, as polymer, and they can be most important ketone in the pharmaceutical industry is the acetone and cyclohexanone. And ketone are also important in biochemistry. The combustion of hydrocarbon is an uncontrolled oxidation process that give ketone as well as many other type of compound. For example, when we burn hydrocarbon, so what will happen? We can take means it can generate ketones. So students, these are the references, and thank you very much for your kind attention, and be safe.